This life can be so hard sometimes. It's such an endurance every single time, every single day. And sometimes we pray for this day to end. Sometimes we just want to get rid of this life in general, that we don't want to have anything to do anymore in this life, so that the dragon can take me away to the dragon realm and no more looking back. Just going away and be with the dragon as a dragon. Wouldn't that be amazing, my brothers and sisters? So, my brothers and sisters, my name is Tim Heijen, and I am a dragon witch, and I would love to explain to you a bit more about our beautiful spirituality. And that is, my brothers and sisters, how I pray for dragons. I pray for them, and I cannot tell you how my prayers are going to be. Because every single time when you pray for the dragons, for your dragons, it has to be a different kind of prayer. You cannot copy my prayers, and I cannot copy your prayers. Everything that you are praying for the dragon has to come from the deepest core of your heart. And when it comes from the deepest core of your heart, it will immediately be translated in dragon language. And that is a big difference with us and other spiritualities, and for sure with religions. Most of the time when you pray, when people pray for because of gods and spirits and whatever, most of the time it's being made out of submission. I want something in return. And you submit yourself, and you want something in return, like a better life. And that is what we want as well. Most of us don't want this life. Most of us just want to be inside of the dragon realm as a dragon, and how amazing must that be? That is amazing. But every single time when I pray before the dragon, I receive this simple message all the time, and that is, your story must be told. Your story here on earth must be told, but fear not, we are always with you. And that is what I understood in 20 years being on the dragon's path. And that is that your dragon is always with you, always by your side. And they will hear every single prayer that you will pray before the dragon. But don't see the prayer for the dragon as a prayer inside of religion, because that is not what we are. We are no religions, and we have no leaders. No one else knows your dragon than you, and no one, but your dragon knows you much more, than anyone in this world. So it makes no sense to ask for people, how do you pray for the dragon? You know this, unlike anyone else. You have this draconic language within yourself, within the deepest corner of your heart, in the deepest of your mind, in the deepest of your energy, is where the dragon will understand whatever you are saying. And if you had a very bad day, and if you have, the worst day, or maybe you had the best day ever, then the best day, and then you want to share this to anyone, and that is where I built myself this dragon altar. And I pray before the dragon every single night. And before I go to sleep, I still pray for the dragon, because praying for the dragon is simply another word for talking to dragons, talking with them. So you can pray also before your gods. Your gods, Tiamat, for example, and Leviathan, these are the dragon gods that will always hear you whenever you are trying to pray before them. And I'm not stopping you, even though the dragons do not demand anything like it. They do not demand anything like submission, or that you do everything, whatever they want you to do. No. The only thing that I asked from my first prayers was to have this feeling again. So the first feeling in 2005 that I had, the first time 20 years ago, whenever my dragon was closed for the first time, that was the moment that I felt so close to the dragon realm, so far away from this world, so far away from all of these troubles that I had. And it was actually very sad and even happy at the same time. And it was a whirlpool of emotions. And that is what I asked my dragon. I didn't ask for anything else inside of my prayers for the dragon. And that was 100% sincere. And that is also how you should pray for the dragon if you want to do this anyway. Because like I said, it's a different word for just talking with dragons. talking with dragons with all of the love and the heart that you have. So there is no scroll that you have to read or no book that you have to read that someone else wrote, because no one else but you knows your dragon. You are you are actually the dragon spirit that is the closest to them, even though it's buried within all of these human inside of yourself. But still, you still linger for the dragon realm, and you still linger to be with them, even though you cannot. You are basically here stuck in this world with all of these other people and telling you what you need to do, telling you what you have to do, and that you have to be someone that you are actually not. And sometimes this is suffocating. This is actually suffocating us. And sometimes, to give us a moment of air, it is better to have a moment that you can pray for your dragon, that you can pray for your dragon god, and they will hear that. I'm sure of that your dragon will hear every prayer that you have. But of course, like I said, a dragon prayer cannot be forced. So a forced dragon prayer will not be heard by them. If you force yourself to pray like I did when I was very young, I had to force myself to pray before the Christian God, even though I didn't want that. But I was so afraid of him that I felt myself obligated to pray before that God. But that was not my God. And that is why I didn't feel so good, actually, to have a legit prayer that comes from my heart. The first prayer that I've ever did was when I just went 18 years old, that I could feel my dragon, even though I was not even knowing that I was praying before the dragon. I didn't know anything about it. Like I said, it didn't came with instructions whenever I was awakened by dragons, but what I could feel was joy. And what I could feel sometimes was anger against humanity. I felt all of these dark and light emotions all in one whirlpool of emotions. But one thing I knew for sure, I loved the moment that I could feel my dragon. And I was sure that I could hear my dragon as well. Within myself, within my heart, within my mind, I could hear my dragon. I understood everything what my dragon was saying. And I tried to respond to the dragon in a draconic prayer. And especially when I started to have a dragon altar, this was a perfect place to have a dragon prayer. A perfect place that I can be alone with my dragons, with my thoughts, with my mind, with also that I can speak with them loudly. So a dragon prayer is basically another word for talking to them, but sincerely. And of course, like I said, not because of submission. That is not what any dragon wants. No dragon should be submitted by doing anything. No dragon is obligated in doing anything, and neither do you. You don't need to do anything. But if you want to do this, then you are free to do whatever you want, including having prayers before the dragon. We do have gods. We do have gods that are very high above us. My goddess, Tiamat, does not say whatever I need to do or whatever we need to do. The dragon goddess, for example, Tiamat, sees us much more as children that are very far away. Even though the dragon realm is something that you can feel so well whenever the dragon is close, and that whenever the dragon is close, you can feel your dragon self so much better. And you can feel the dragon realm so much better than that whenever the dragon is close to you. And whenever that happens, you feel sometimes the need to pray for them. And that is not strange. That is not something that you have to say, oh, that is for religions. My brothers and sisters, we might not be a religion, but it's still a spirituality. Our spirits by our side that are very far away inside of the dragon realm, even though they are reaching out for us. Sometimes we reach out for them whenever we pray for them, whenever we talk with them. And especially a prayer before our dragon gods needs to be a talk that we can have before yourself and your dragon god, as maybe you can see them much more as a parent, as than a God that you have to kneel down before. Of course, every single night before I go to sleep, I don't only pray, I also bow down before them. I kneel down before them, even though that is not what they ask. That is what I want to do. Sometimes I feel so alone in this world. You might not have an idea how alone I sometimes feel, and especially that started whenever I started to feel the dragon. That is because sometimes I feel the dragon less. Sometimes I feel my own draconic self less. And that is where I feel so alone, feel by myself, feel trapped. And whenever the dragon is close, I feel them the need so that they can take me away from this place, away so that we can be a dragon ourselves. And whenever we take their hands, that we can be inside of the dragon realm until forever. But of course, in this world, we live as a human amongst humans, and sometimes it can feel very lonely. And sometimes we feel the need to pray for them. Not because we need to, not because we have to submit ourselves, but because of the love that we feel for them. And the love that we feel for all of our dragons. The love that we feel of what we can feel whenever they are close. And that is the moment when we talk to them. We talk to them, and that is energy, my brothers and sisters. Whenever we talk to them in a sincere idea, whenever it comes from the core of your heart and your mind, this is the moment that it creates energy, open gates. And this is, my brothers and sisters, how we do our prayers. We don't need to be obliged to do anything. We are not forced to do anything. That is not how dragons do it. How dragons do anything. Dragons feel the connection with other dragons. Even though you are a human now, you are still a dragon energy. And you can still speak in dragon tongue within inside of your mind. And that is exactly what a dragon prayer is. Within inside of your mind, you speak a dragon tongue, and they will understand it. And they will speak to you as well, and you will understand it. You might see it as a dragon prayer, but in fact what we are doing with each other is talking to each other and find hope and find that we are not alone. So that we hope and sincerity and friendship and connection to each other. And that is why we pray for dragons. We pray for the dragons by our side. We pray for the dragon gods. We pray for all of them. So my brothers and sisters, be blessed.